right, everybody. It's the Arty 84 show live here, episode 193. As always, Adam to the left of me. It's hot as balls up here.
They're sweating. They're getting that residue underneath, the ball sludge.
Yeah. I just got a new router to hopefully fix the internet issues we've been having. But unfortunately, every single thing in the house has a new network name now. So anything that was connected to the network at one point or another literally has to be changed now. So
Oh shit.
Had to go off the cameras, had to go off the baby camera, then had to go off the Apple TV and the what the hell is this? Phone, everything you can think of is literally has to be changed. So
Oh god.
but it's supposedly 4 times faster than we had before.
Four times.
800 megabits. Let's see. It says I'm live right now. Let's see how good the quality is right now. Are we buffering? Come on, baby. Look at that. Looks good. Looks like we're not buffering. Tonight on the show, we have a special guest all the way from California, right? I think that's what I said. Jerry Garcia, the lead singer of the Grateful Dead, will be joining us tonight.
Back from the dead.
Back from the dead. Speaking of dead musicians, you see Charlie Watts, drummer of the Rolling Stones, died.
I saw that, yeah.
He was probably
like
the most
80, though.
Yeah, and he was probably the most healthiest of all the guys in the Rolling Stones. He seemed to be like the only guy that never was like a heavy drug addict and shit.
Yeah, the only guy that was kind of there. Yeah.
You think it was just like all the booze and drugs that Mick and I think it's Mick Jagger. Who's the other guy?
Keith Richards.
Keith Richards. All that drugs and shit they did just kind of marinated their body a little bit.
Yeah, pretty much. I bet Keith Richards probably just like the reason. Well, I remember seeing an interview with Keith Richards, and like the reason why he said he didn't die is that he said he could afford the good stuff. That's why. Like you're not getting horrible heroin. He could afford the good shit.
Yeah. You almost can't stop doing the heroin, otherwise you'll die.
Exactly.
They're like, hey, listen, this could kill you, but if you stop it, that might kill you too. Yeah. So, like a hockey player. Jesus Christ.
Oh, yeah, I know. The accidental
It's
overdose.
weird, yeah. So that I don't know.
Let's face it.
Accidentally overdose if you know how much you have to take.
The thing is, if you get hooked on that shit, let's face it, you probably have depression issues. I mean, I don't know. It's
it all starts with I'll take an extra one, so I'm gonna feel a little bit better. Then I'll take an extra one, and I feel a little bit better. Then
like Prince, the same thing.
Yeah, Michael Jackson. I used to go and get an IV every day and made me feel better about myself.
I do have a joke for you. I know your wife loves like bad jokes. So I got one for you that you could use on her if you really wanted to. So I'll give you. So why is a math book always sad?
Why is that?
Because it has a lot of problems.
That's a good one right there. Ladies and gentlemen.
If you're trying to make babies and get her in the mood, I know that'll probably make her smile. Right? There you go.
Feel free to use that one, guys, out there. That is a free joke for all you out there.
Free dad joke for everybody.
It's supposed to be even hotter tomorrow. You see the temperature?
Fuck yeah, it's supposed to be pretty bad. Like 93-ish. Yeah. I
guess the record for tomorrow in 1948 was 100 degrees. So they said the average temperature that we're supposed to be getting right now is like below 80.
Yeah.
So
I think summer's late.
I think so too. I remember like back in the day, like the August would just be like fucking starting to cool off, start getting that fall feel. But no.
Well, like I was saying, remember June? It was raining. It felt like spring.
Mm-hmm.
I just felt like everything. The seasons are all fucked up now. It's not what it used to be.
Yeah.
Even we were kids. So I remember my parents saying it's not what it used to be when we were kids. And I'm like, what are you talking about? And now we're getting older. And I'm like, even for us, it just feels different.
Well, that's like, that is what it is. The fucking seasons will change and stuff. It's.
Yeah.
What are you going to do? I'm starting to think I need another monitor. I get it. So the setup here in the studio is a little bit more. What's the word? A little more intimate over here because I had to set up tables. I had to set up a Lego table over there on the other side of the room so I could do my builds, not on the kitchen table. So I had a place to store it because I was storing the boxes in the basement, but it's so fucking humid down there that I didn't want like molds to start growing on the boxes or destroy them and shit.
Yeah,
that's what happened to my parents' house. Yeah, so the camera's a little bit closer to make it work, which is not necessarily a bad thing. It's more of I'm about the same as you now, give or take.
Yeah. Yeah, a little bit. Yeah.
Less of a studio shop, but Yeah, but now I think I need it. But where I was before, I used to be able to see the second monitor from my left, but now I can't see the second monitor. So I have to keep looking back to see if there's someone on the show. Actually, it'll pop up on the top. What am I talking about? Yeah. So Mr. Garcia will be joining us, hopefully.
Yeah, that'd be cool. It's always good to have
See if he didn't send us a message or anything. We usually get the message,
well, oh, I hope he didn't make the classic mistake of it's West Coast time,
Let's see. Can you email me the Zoom information? All right, I guess I could do that for him right now.
There you go.
Let's see. Actually, I already got the Zoom shit there. Copy. Doing this all on the show, guys. This is very, very instrumental here.
Yeah, it is. We're
this is how we get things done here. See, I'll forward it to him because I already emailed it to myself because I needed that done. There's his email.
So I guess Norway is sending its first crewless zero emissions cargo ship. Crewless, no crew on this giant ship.
That's kind of weird.
That's risky. I feel like a lot could go wrong there. Like it crashes into like a barge in the middle of nowhere, gets lost.
Like what the fuck? Like there's gotta be someone on there, right?
Okay, no, nobody's on it. It's obviously just cargo. They're testing it though. It's just going between two Norway towns. Good call. Okay. Don't let that thing go out there. Like, let's not sail this from like Norway to like through the strait into California or Florida. Yeah, no. But that is interesting. But I don't like shit like that though, because it takes away jobs. And I think it's, that's what's going to happen. Like these billionaire cocksuckers are going to keep making more money because they just have robots to do everything, and all the middle people are not going to have jobs. It sucks. God damn. I hope things like that make me I hope reincarnation isn't real. I don't want to be like slopping away at shit and like doing absolutely nothing.
So cargoless ship. I guess it's essentially a drone in the water. The water's so big. I guess you really would.
No, crewless ship.
Crewless ship, rather. Yeah. So I think many ports will still require someone in once they get into the channel. So even when you get into the channel of like all the major harbors, the pilot comes out on the pilot boat and he gets on the boat and he joins you. And he drives it in, right? So that would probably be required because it's a high risk they can hit it. But when you're in the middle of the Atlantic or the Pacific, there's no one there. Yeah. But they're gonna have someone on the boat, right? Because it's billions of dollars worth of shit on that boat that you're just gonna have it just float away.
I don't know. It just says first crewless ship.
How you gonna fight off Somalian pirates?
Zero emissions too. Ship will be its first ship.
It's solar powered.
Finland, but it is the first fully electric container ship.
Okay. So it must be
by chemical company, blah, 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 blah. Reduce emissions of nitrogen oxides, blah, blah, blah. Carbon dioxide moving freight away from roads to the sea.
So it must have shit ton of solar panels on there charging batteries.
Yeah, you would think.
And then I guess if you're using batteries, you can use electric motors, so you don't need the giant engine rooms like you do for diesel engines. So the weight kind of just differentiates each other, I guess.
Apparently, all of Norway apparently is hydroelectric.
Okay.
I guess with the size of that country, you could get away with that.
Yeah, because where's their major population centers? Like maybe 3 cities?
Yeah, exactly.
So, and it's all like south. There's nothing up north. No one's living up there. Everyone's off the grid anyways.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's probably the amount of people that live in. They probably don't have 1 million people. Do you think?
Let's see. What is the population of Norway?
Maybe they do. I don't know. Norway's a big country, but I can't see.
I don't know anymore. Oh yeah, 5.3 million.
Okay, so they have the population of New York City spread over the amount of land, like the size of the Southeast.
Pretty much.
So I mean, yeah, you could get away with that. I'm a little nervous about this whole lithium situation we got. You familiar with this?
This involves China, doesn't it?
Well, it's not even so much that. It's just how highly pollutive lithium is after it's done on the battery. So battery's life is like 10 years. And then you dump these batteries and they're highly pollutive. And you can't reuse them. Once they're done and they're exhausted, they're done.
Huh.
So they just go on
landfills. Yeah, I'm seeing this right now. Lithium extraction. Yeah, it's pretty bad. Yeah.
So they need to come up with another idea other than a battery that's made of lithium. Otherwise, we're going to have some fucking problems.
That's true. It's like we just go from one to the other. There's no 100% way.
You might as well keep doing the fossil fuel shit because at least their emissions are going into the air and it can be filtered out somehow. Lithium, for the most part, you just jump on the battery and call it a fucking day. So it's like, where's that going to go?
That's true. Yeah.
And like, it's the Chinese, obviously. So, obviously Afghanistan, right?
Yeah.
So I guess they have a high, large amount of minerals, I guess there, which I'm very surprised.
Earth metals.
Yeah. Why has no other country try to extract it? Like the Russians were there. We were there. Like you think it would be like, hey, let's extract this while we're here.
And it's
help,
let's Independence Day. Let's Independence Day this planet and just pilfer all the fucking natural resources where we go. Mine as well, right?
Like, why would you conquer a country and not take any of its resources?
It's true.
It's like why when we were in Iraq, right? Like I know like Saddam set everything on fire, but like why didn't we just take over like oil fields and like use their resources? Like I don't get it. Like why be there if you're not going to do anything?
No, it's true.
It's like kind of a waste. Like the Chinese don't do that. The Chinese are gonna conquer you. They're gonna suck you dry of all your resources. That's a fact.
They are. There's articles dating back like years about how they have a growing dominance on rare earth metals, like a lot of the shit that goes into your cell phones and stuff. And like that's gonna be a problem.
And lithium's the key one right there. Because it's so. I was also reading a thing about gold, how rare gold is. If you took every single piece of gold that was mined since the history of mining gold, it would only fill up 2 Olympic-sized swimming pools. Isn't that fucking crazy?
Huh.
It's nuts.
That's interesting. That is interesting.
You would think there's, I mean, that's a lot when you you get by ounces and shit. But like when you think about it, you think there'd be a lot more than that.
No, there's more important ones than lithium. They're ones that you and I can't even pronounce that are more important. There's just like terbium. That's in like LCD and plasma screens.
Yeah.
That's one of them. Praseodymium that's in aircraft engines. Neodymium, that's in catalytic converters.
Okay. Yeah.
Lanthanum is high oil refining in rechargeable batteries. China has a giant portion of all of this in their lands.
That's good.
Yeah, great. Yeah, it's all slowly. Everything's just slowly shifting China's way.
They're just going to control everything, right? I mean, at some point,
little by little.
Like I think that the days of them just conquering land and calling it their own are over. I think now they're just going to start hitting you in the pocketbook.
Yeah,
because I heard that there's already China's already talking with Afghanistan about moving in, getting in there and taking some of their shit.
Yep.
And all right.
Scary times we live in. It's
so
gonna
perhaps
get worse.
Do you think maybe here's a wild theory? So we left a shitload of our equipment over there, like our military equipment, right? Enough to make the Taliban one of the biggest armies in the world for the most part, right? Compared to a lot of countries, it's probably top 20, top 30 military equipment wise, right? So you think perhaps, and this is a wild fucking thought, that we left it there on purpose for the Taliban to defend themselves against the Chinese in case they try to invade them. Just theory.
Yeah.
But they could fuck us too, and they could be like, oh yeah, thank you so much. And then the Chinese, then they're making the deal with the Chinese in the back door too. So they're fucking us, fucking everyone.
They could. As it stands right now, there's about 1 trillion in untapped minerals in Afghanistan that China's trying to make a deal with the Taliban right now.
There's nothing there. Like it's such an undeveloped country. Like literally, it's like, because at least when you go out into like the western part of the United States where they get a lot of the mineral deposits and stuff, there's at least a nearby major metropolitan area within a few hundred miles, right? There's very few situations where you have to travel more than a couple hundred miles before you get to a major city of some sort.
Yeah.
So with that in mind, in Afghanistan, it's not like that. You could be like in the middle of you're in part of the Himalayas out there. You're in the mountains and shit. It's fucking crazy.
I might not know. I was thinking the other day, why not, when we were out there, why not just bomb the mountains? Not targets, just bomb everywhere around the mountains, because it would just cut off paths that these places.
Well, so they did that back after 9/11. They used they had the special missile that was like a Pearson missile that was able to pierce the mountains, because that's where they thought Osama was living, inside the caves over there. He was going cave to cave.
Yeah.
And they were sending these missiles over that had this ability to penetrate the fucking.
Oh yeah, I know what you're saying.
Yeah, you penetrate the mountains to get in there. You know what I mean?
But I wouldn't even go that high tech. Just fly a bunch of B-52s over constantly, drop dum-dum bombs on the fucking mountains themselves. Because remember, you have to be able to walk there. You have to be able to get there. So by bombing the mountains, you're creating debris, a path that they can't get over. Just fucking level the fucking mountains with dum-dum bombs.
I mean, it's one way to do it. I mean, you just
That's
the fuck out of it.
Yeah, not even trying to kill anybody, just restricting their ability to get there, to hide in these caverns.
Yeah.
That's why not? I don't know. Maybe I'm stupid and don't understand.
But I mean, there's probably a reason for why we don't, but I mean, that's the most logical reason, right?
I would think.
So I guess might be a little late because he just texted me. He goes, "I'll see you at 8:00."
What time is it? Current time in California. Let's see.
It's 5:30 or 5:15.
So he's pretty much not coming.
So I just text him back. I go, hey, it's 8 EST. I mean, it does say we're from Boston on our profile, right?
It does say, yeah.
I mean, all you have to do is watch one of our shows to realize we're from Boston.
Well, when you initially reached out to him, did you say EST? Like 8 p.m. And okay, well, that's on him then.
I always put EST.
8 ESP. Yeah, you must know. No, but I've been saying for years, we're so busy locked in this civil war, we're fighting with each other that someone else is just like waiting and waiting to just swoop in. And John is just waiting, just sitting there, let them fight, let them. And it's fucked up because you got like, I know the Russians are big into creating groups like on Facebook, and these groups posing as Americans. And like they'll be like this ultra left wing or ultra right wing group that looks like they're American, and their purpose is to just ignite the other side to create conflict, right? And it's insane, but it works. Like freedom of speech. Fuck us.
It's kind of like it's kind of like Antifa, like showing up at like on January 6th, like blending in to be the Trump supporters but causing trouble. And then same thing with like the BLM protests. Antifa blending in as BML people and causing trouble. So it's basically the same thing. And I think it's even deeper rooted in that. I think perhaps maybe even Tifa has some kind of ties with China or Russia, and they're just trying to internally fuck us.
I wouldn't doubt it. It's sad though that our very own amendments are being used against us like that. It's fucking sad.
Well, it's also sad that some people don't fucking can wrap their mind around that and realize that either.
No, most people can't.
You don't gotta be our fucking rocket scientists to realize that like there's a reason you see shit on certain things and it triggers you, right? Like, for example, our friend Eric Danger Powers, super triggered.
Oh, God. Yeah.
Facebook is exactly who they're targeting. They're targeting him.
He's a demographic completely.
He's in that age group. Basically, he's in that age range, right? I would say anywhere between 35 and 75. If you're on Facebook, you're getting raided. Now, we're in the lower end only for the fact that we kind of grew up with it as a college kid, right? So like for us, we didn't rely on it. For us, it was just a way to keep in touch with people, you know, and that for the most part, that's still the way we primarily used it, right? Yeah. Like other than the show and stuff like that, like to like, you know, just promote our own kind of social shit. We're not really using it for news, or we're not really using it for like, we use it as a reference, but we're not using it as our primary source of information because we're not that fucking stupid. But anyone older than us does, because it's easy and convenient for them. It's easier to go to Facebook, log on and see your news feed and see that you follow CBS and see what their propaganda is going to be, or Fox, or what their propaganda is, than it is to actually just educate yourself and go to like a newspaper, and even that you will even get tiered. But like for the most part, it really makes it really dumb for, I hate to say it, our parents and grandparents who are on it.
It's true.
How many times? I mean, I don't know if your mother's on Facebook or not, but how many times my mother has shared fake stories?
Oh my God. Yeah, it's common. It's common.
And it's like, or a story that's like 10 years old, right? Or something that, because the headline catches your eye, the title, right? And you get there, they're like, and she shares. And then you get 900 comments. And then by the 1500 comment, say, this was in 2007.
Yeah.
All you gotta do is read a few lines of the article right there. You know what I mean? But it makes people fight. If you go into chat rooms or groups and stuff on like social media, it's all middle-aged people fighting with each other.
It's true.
You hardly ever see like kids, and I really think there's not a lot of kids like teenagers on Facebook really anymore.
Yeah, you're right. They're on like TikTok and all that shit.
Yeah, they're in for the quick 1-minute videos of them dancing and fucking, you know, doing whatever. They don't really care about posting what they don't. I got rid of Twitter primarily because it was just annoying because I didn't really give a shit what people were saying anymore. Like it was just kind of boring. It didn't really
Well,
like it's just what celebrities say. Stuff doesn't really. I really don't care. You know.
I know. One thing I do like about technology is that, like you know me, I divorced myself pretty much from social media as me, Adam, long time ago.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
like now I kind of I have my Twitter account, but and I have my feed on my phone, and it's like I have everything filtered so refined and
Yeah.
perfect that like none of that talk, like I still know what's going on in the world. I still read the world reports. I still get, you know, my weather. I still get financial information. I still get all that stuff. So I basically am getting all of that still, but it's filtering out just all the toxic bullshit. Every once in a while, something creeps through.
Yeah.
You
Someone
can't get
figures
rid of
out.
all of it.
No.
But like technology has at least gotten better at it. And if you really, really want and aren't addicted, you can find a way to get that not even in your view.
Yeah.
You know?
And it's like, but like if you posted like, hey, I went to the store today and I bought a new hat, like I could give 2 fucks. And if I posted, I bought, look at my new beer I'm drinking, it's delicious. You could fucking give a shit either. Now, like something like that would be more refined to a group. Now, if I posted this in a group and say, hey, it's a really cool beer. I like this beer. In a beer group, people would be like, yeah, if you like that beer, you should try this beer because it's relative to that situation where Twitter doesn't have that. I guess they do have groups, but it's not like Facebook.
No,
it's kind of, you know.
Yeah.
And like I went to the store today, maybe you would say that in a group of people that go to stores all the time. And they'd be like, hey, have you tried this store? You know what I mean?
And like occasionally I look at Instagram. Like if I get like a note, like sometimes I look at your Lego stuff. If you post something like voting for, I'll occasionally I do get notifications and I'll look at them occasionally, you know, but like for the most part, I'm just like, you know.
Yeah, exactly. I like Instagram a lot because I like the picture content of it. Because I really have nothing interesting to share other than media. So either it's a video, whether it's a show, whether it's something of that nature. For me, it's like this makes more sense. And I connected to Facebook only because it's just easier that way to post it on one area and then have that go afterwards. So like, and it's primarily for the relatives, right? It's for the older relatives. It's all from all them to see like the fucking pictures of the kids and stuff like that. I don't know if I had a kid, I would even still be on Facebook, right? Or I could say if I didn't have the I highly ever use it as myself. I never really post it as myself. It's usually posted as the radio show page. It's either posted as like Susan and I Explorer page where we post our videos, or it's posted as you know, like the packy, but I highly ever use that anymore because that's getting kind of toxic too. It's kind of stupid.
Yeah, you only kind of do if like you do a family outing with the, you know, the kid stuff. Like, it was just it was just cool.
No, it's mostly for the relatives. It's like,
for sure,
because they don't see them all the time, and it's a good way to share, you know, what's going on and keep you updated with stuff. You know what I mean? And I like it because I like to see kids, people I went to high school with, and you know, old friends, and see what they're up to and everything.
Did you see any of the photos and video from that fucking I guess there was a huge protest. There's clashes between the far right and far left groups. Yeah. Like violence in Portland, Oregon. Did you see the
Oh, yes, I did. Yes. And it was they arrested it was because they were arresting the leader of the Proud Boys or something, which rumor has it he's an FBI informant anyways. That's why there was such a light like fucking sentence for him for carrying an armed firearm without a license.
Jesus.
I mean, it gets so deep. Like if you get like even the thing that happened at the fucking Capitol building, they said there was a good percentage of the people who were in the building were FBI informants as well.
Yeah,
like we said last week, you can't trust the fucking FBI. They're probably the worst, most corrupt federal agency there is. Yeah. So, and as soon as you hear FBI is involved, you know it's gonna be a fuck up. How many movies you have to watch based on true stories that involve the FBI that ends up being a fucking clusterfuck at the end?
That's true.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They can't even keep track of their own.
No, they can't. No,
people go rogue and they don't even know it. Like they're one of them.
But also too, you got the FBI, the CIA, the NSA, you get all these people, and they don't. And I say the word ego a lot, but a lot of times it all comes down to these people don't communicate because they think they're better than everybody else. It's kind of like how the state police.
You made the best. I was gonna say you made the best example the other day. It's like, you know, something happens in Saugus, right? So city cops pull up. All right, I'll take care of this. Well, all of a sudden it happens on Route 1, which is in state police jurisdiction, even though it's in Saugus. So state police trump the Saugus police office and tell them to go home. But then say it happens like in a town that has like a prison, like say you're down south, right? That's even a better example because down south, the county up here, the sheriffs in our county only control the jails, but down south and mostly any other state, the sheriffs actually trump. It goes city cops, sheriff, and then it goes state. And the state doesn't really get involved in too much stuff. So basically, if you get pulled over by a sheriff down south, you're fucked because that's like getting pulled over by the state anywhere else.
Yeah.
So like, yeah, so you're down in Florida, you get pulled over by the Fort Myers police, right? And all of a sudden, here comes the Lee County Sheriff, pulls up next to you. Sorry, Fort Myers police, go home. It's usually, and then all of a sudden, the state police show up, and it's like, whoops, see you later, Sheriff. And it's just like everyone's just like, it's like everyone pulls the cock out and see who's just bigger.
Oh,
You know, like,
oh fuck. Oh man, there's some news breaks going on right now, buddy. We got some stuff to talk about.
oh, yeah, what's going on?
Well, oh shit. All right, well, let's start here. Apparently,
News alert.
well, I saw this one earlier that I actually wanted to bring it up. So you know the cover of the Nirvana album, you know, Nevermind with the little baby,
Little baby naked.
Yeah, he is suing for because he thinks it's considered child pornography. That baby, he's like now 30 years old.
Okay.
Now, initially, a photo like that of a child would not be considered child pornography. It's a baby, whatever. But because of the dollar bill there, it makes him look. It makes it look like a sex worker.
Okay.
The fucking world we live in. Nobody would have cared about this 10 years ago. Now all of a sudden, it's like he wants like $100,000 from each member of the band, the photographer.
No one's dead.
His estate, Courtney Love, like everybody.
Yeah. I always thought that cover was odd, honestly, and I understand the artistic point of it, kind of. I always thought it was weird having a naked little kid on the cover, and yes, I could see why that would be.
But why not?
Graphic material. But with that in mind, he was a minor when that was taken, and he had the rights of his parents, who had to sign off on it to make that even allowed. Right. So
yeah,
the person he should be really upset with is his mom for signing that paper.
Abuse. Yeah.
So, I mean,
you're right.
It sounds like for me, it's someone who's out of the spotlight for 30 years and who peaked at 9 months old. And they haven't ever, it's been downhill from there, and they need to get back up at the spot. It's like when every time you haven't heard of a celebrity in a while, and all of a sudden they come out and they tweet, yeah, you gotta blah, 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 do this, do that, or some kind of extreme shit. It's because like they just want to stay relevant. You know what I mean? So this kid maybe was like, you know what? I'm the Nirvana kid. You know, what's next? The girl from the Bumblebee music video. Remember that one?
Oh God, yes. Yeah. Blind Melon, No Rain.
Blind Melon, and she's gonna sue because they were making fun of chubby girls when they were kids.
But you know what's fucked up? The kid who's suing, who's on the cover as a baby, the last like couple of years, every anniversary he redoes the classic pose, but in a bathing suit.
Oh, then that's
in a pool.
And then whoever they're suing should just pull that out and be like, you are embracing it. And you would do it naked if you didn't look like a creep doing it.
Exactly.
So I mean, yeah, that sounds like a money grab.
But
probably he'll get some money, a little settlement, maybe. They'll throw him like 50 grand and tell him to shut the fuck up and you know, cease and desist, don't do this again, kind of thing, probably.
This one's not going to surprise you though. So apparently Ron Jeremy is being indicted on over 30 counts of sexual assault.
Uh-oh. The Me Too movement's back. Isn't he a porn star?
Yeah, Ron Jeremy. Yeah, I mean, it doesn't surprise me. He was always kind of creepy looking. He was a fat guy, you know. He's never really.
I told you the time I had his phone number, right? Did I ever tell you this story?
I don't think so.
So, all right. So back in the day, God, I was still working at the Finish Line at the Square One Mall. So this had to be 2006, 2007, maybe 2006. Long story short, I was working with this girl who was a good, attractive girl. She was cute. And she had gone up to Amazing up in Peabody for an autograph signing of Ron Jeremy. So we had to be, we had to be 21 at this point because you had to be 21. So she had gone up there and, you know, I guess there wasn't a big turnout, but there was some people there. So she was chatting up with them. So of course, creepy Ron Jeremy gives her his phone number, like a cell phone number. So she comes into work and she's telling us the story. And she's like, well, give me a cell phone number. I go, that's not a cell phone number. She's like, no, it is. Let's call it right now. So we called it on speakerphone on the Finish Line phone. And all of a sudden, there was a voicemail that goes, hey, everybody, this is Ron's phone. Please leave a message after the tone. I'll call you back in right away. So leave a message and have a nice day. And it was Ron Jeremy's voice.
Oh, boy.
So I called bullshit. I go, this could be anyone, right? It's like, maybe he has a number. Maybe it's his number. So over the course of like 3 months, we would call this number sporadically from different lines, some from private, some from not private and stuff. You know, this is before the days of Googling numbers. Like, so if you had a number that was weird, so, you know, so we called him one night and we got him on the phone and he picks up and he's like, hello. And I go, Ron? And he's like, yes, who's this? I go, Ron, it's Tony. He's like, Tony who? I go, Ron, remember we did that movie together? I don't know, like 5 years ago with the gangbang. And he starts laughing. He's like, who the fuck is this? I go, Tony. Like, I don't know, Tony. And he starts going back and forth. And I start laughing. And he's like, are you the fucking asshole keeps calling me and leaving the messages? And I start laughing. I go, Ron, this is Tony. And he fucking hangs up. And I go, that was Ron Jeremy. So now girls are suing him for
let me read you this rap sheet. Okay, so Jeremy appeared in Los Angeles court on Wednesday, where he pleaded not guilty to 12 counts of forcible rape, 7 counts of forcible oral copulation, 6 counts of sexual battery by restraint, 4 counts of sexual penetration with a foreign object, 2 counts of sexual penetration of an unconscious or asleep person, and 1 count each of lewd act upon a child under the age of 14 or 15, sodomy by use of force, and assault with intent to commit rape.
Oh, wow.
Even if one of those is true,
yeah,
which I'm willing to bet at least you get that many, you got to figure at least one of them.
It's not all in the same person, right? This is just a collective bunch of
a collective, 30 in total.
Okay. So yeah, probably a lot of that's true, and he probably thought you would get away with a lot of it because he was in the porn industry, and it would just be like it's an unspoken agreement that.
Yeah.
I think the kid one's gonna get him though. If they can prove he really diddle the kid, I think that's the one that's gonna get him in trouble.
You don't need a lot of proof with that one. No.
Yeah, the other stuff it kind of leads to be like, well, maybe you guys were filming a movie or something, and like she didn't 100% agree to something, but you did it anyways, and there's a gray area there because of what the industry is, and you know what I mean. It's not like he's a, like he's a clerk at CVS, like, but but the kiddie one, if they can prove that one, that's bad news bears right there. You never want.
Juries don't like hearing things about kids. You're fucked.
Sodomy on a kid is like, oof. Unless you're the Catholic Church, of course, but then that just gets swept under the rug, and they just move them to city. Exactly. Fucking crazy. We're talking the other night at work about the whole banging the teacher thing and the whole double standard as if it was a guy teacher banging like a cute high school girl, or like they would fucking throw the book at him. But if it was like a hot woman teacher banging like a 16-year-old boy, it's kind of like, ugh, you shouldn't have done that.
It's a fucked up double standard. And even I have to think, like, okay, so let's think about this. If you found out a teacher was sleeping with your daughter, you'd probably go to the fucking roof.
Be very angry.
But what if your son was banging the teacher?
It's tough to be angry.
But you have to be.
That's from a guy's point of view, though. I mean, if you ask a mother that, I think she'd probably be upset both ways.
True, but we really should be. That's still a pedophile.
It is, but as a guy...
I know.
Living as a guy and the experience as a high school or a teenage guy, you understand that there is a sense of, not that it's right to do that, but it is a sense of accomplishment for that teenager to be able to pull off such an incredible task.
I agree.
Like that is like, I mean, just think how long it took, like you and I, just to talk to broads, right? I mean, you go through the awkward high school stages, and then you like you're tipping your foot in the water in the college, and you're like your early 20s and stuff, and you still don't figure it out though. You still don't know how to do it, right? And then you get this like, we all get the sense of confidence in us at some point of our life. I think it's after we hit a certain point, and we're just like, well, fuck it, let's just do it. Well, and I think a lot of it's just watching other people do it, and like just being like, if that fucking guy's doing it, why don't I fucking do it? Like, you know.
There is supposedly a science behind that, and why we all feel that sense of fear to approach a stranger of the opposite sex to talk to them, which is that back a long time ago when we lived in tribes, like if you talk to the wrong woman and like who was up of some like a different, like higher up on the totem pole, and she was with somebody, you'd get stoned to death because that's not your woman. Yeah. Right. Yeah. So maybe it's like a built-in mechanism of fear. So that way you don't die for talking to the wrong person.
Well, that could be very well the case.
Yeah, it could be.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. Also, chicks are very, a lot of times they're very intimidating, I guess, because maybe they mature faster than dudes do.
Yeah.
Back like when you were like 16 years old, right? Or like even younger, like 14 years old, like you're a freshman in high school. The girls are already like in woman stages for the most part, right? They're already like matured. They get the boobs. They get the women bodies. They're taller. They typically like, I don't know. And even if they're not like that, even if you like approach, you could probably, most of them are probably easily approachable. They were just so shy. They put up a front that you took it as a sense like, I can't do this shit. Right. But even if that in mind, like it's like fucking kid, you're sitting here, you're going through puberty, you got bad acne, you're still growing, unless you were like in that like 5% of guys who look like they were 20 years old in high school. because they matured way the fuck faster than everyone else.
Yeah.
And those are the ones that were getting laid. Those are the ones that had like, because the girls were looking at them like, oh my God, they're so much older. And they're like, hey guy, excuse me, I know you're in my geometry class, but I was wondering if you're like, I don't know, what are you gonna do? You can't do anything. You don't have a car. I was wondering if you want to go like walk down to Dunkin' Donuts or something. Oh.
But it's fucked because it's like they develop before we do,
Mhm.
and they live longer than us. It's
Mhm.
fucked. It's because they run us into the ground. That's
A
why.
lot less stress. Guys just work themselves. Wait, and guys are less likely to go to the doctor if something's a problem. That was another statistic I heard too.
I can see that.
Unless you're like you know, me, I'm the same way. I'm like, if I have a headache or if I have to be like in a serious state of like not being able to do something for a prolonged period of time, like my back issue, I probably should get this thing checked out and like probably like surgery at some point in my life because of like something's fucked back there. But like it's day to day, I survive. It's not really, you know what I mean? You know, like and that's the thing with guys, like they could have like some serious pains and they could have some fucked up cancer. And they don't even know it because they're just like, it's just a fucking pain. I'll just get through it.
Yeah, let's soldier through it.
But like women are like, oh my God, I have a headache. I gotta go see a fucking specialist. I don't know.
I know, like my dad always said, like, and I always kind of feel the same way. If it's chest or head, I'll go to the fucking doctor. Anything else, like I'll like I remember I fractured my pinky once, and like I put it off for days when I should have. It was getting all swollen and purple, and I'm like, I'm sure it's okay. Right, but like I don't fuck around when it comes to head or chest. I remember I went to the emergency room because I had chest pains for like 2 days. And turned out it was fucking heartburn. I couldn't believe they ran like all these tests on me. And I didn't know heartburn could last more than a day.
That's pretty interesting. I didn't know that either.
I didn't either, but like, did you change your diet recently? I'm like, yeah, I should be eating more salads, and it was the vinegar dressing. On my salads, but like, it wouldn't stop. Like, chest pains for like more than like 2 days.
Yeah.
You know? So I went to the ER, and they're like, you're fine. And I'm like, okay.
I got 7 or 8 years ago. I remember waking up and I would have this like worse like acid reflux heartburn, like to the point where I had to sit up when I'm sleeping.
Oh shit!
It was bothering me, and it was like a chest pains, and I was like, "Am I having a heart attack?" I'm like, "I can't be having a heart attack." And it was a diet. It was I was eating something different at the restaurant that I didn't typically eat. That was a little more spicy than usual, and I was eating it like at the end of the shift. So like when I would go to bed like at 3 a.m, but I would just have like a full stomach full of this shit, and then when I lay down, it hasn't fully digested, and the acid reflux was coming up and causing me to like literally wake up in the middle of the night with like cramps in my chest. And I go to my doctor. I do the same exact thing. I go, I get occasionally have these hot, like, I feel pressure on my chest, like I'm like having a heart attack. I'm like, but I'm like, I don't know if I'm having a heart attack. And he's like, well, if you were having a heart attack, you'd probably know. And he's like, we went through the whole thing you just basically said. Well, you've been eating something different. I'm like, yeah, I've been eating this. I mean, and I wasn't really eating healthy either. I was not really taking care of my body. I was drinking a lot of beer. That was also not really good late at night when you go into bed.
That's true. That happened in a movie. I'm trying to find it right now. The guy, it was a football coach. It was a football movie. It was a comedy. And
really?
he like thought he was having a heart attack, and it was just indigestion. And I think of that all the time. I'm trying to know what the fuck it is though.
A heart attack scares the fuck out of me more than anything else, I think. Because I think like cancer, you could probably catch early enough, and at least you have a half a chance. But like a heart attack, you have about 40 seconds.
Or a stroke, that could be bad too.
If you're by
any of that while driving.
Oh God, driving. Yeah, I always think of that too. I'm like, I could have a heart attack right now and just take out the entire freeway.
Yeah,
flip over the wheel. I go, I wonder if I was driving and I had a stroke or a heart attack and I cut the wheel and I ended up getting into a crash. Would someone stop and help me? Or even if I was just pulled over, I managed to pull myself over to the road. Like, how would I get in contact with anyone? Do I just throw myself out of the car?
Yeah,
I was thinking about things like this, you know.
Necessary Roughness. Did you ever see that?
I think so.
Yes. Sinbad's in it, the comedian.
Okay.
Kathy Ireland. Remember Kathy Ireland? She was like really big in the 90s.
Yeah, I don't think I've seen that movie probably since it came out. It probably was. It come out 97.
91.
Oh my God! Really? Jesus.
Yeah, Kathy Ireland. She was the kicker. Remember they needed a kicker, and they saw like somebody kicking balls, and they're like, "Whoa!" Yeah.
There was a funny story because, like, obviously, a couple weeks from now, it's the 20th anniversary of 9/11, right? So, like, when you think back to like the last 20 years, right? It doesn't really seem like it. That you can't really depict 2002 to like 2016. The last 20 years seem to be blended. But you can really remember the 90s, you remember the 80s, you remember things from the 70s, 60s, and 50s. And someone made a good point. I was listening to a podcast and they said, well, because our styles haven't changed.
Well, I've mentioned that to you before. Remember, I was saying how the jump between, there was a huge jump in style between 80s and 90s.
Yeah.
90s and 2000s, yes. And then after 2000s, like little adjustments, but like everybody still kind of dresses the same.
Yeah, and I think like what people just got into these little groups, like the goth groups, right? But they haven't really changed their style. The goths have been wearing the same thing for the last 20 years.
Yeah.
I remember the goth thing. It was I remember when I really understood the goth thing was it was in 10th grade. There was this girl named Holly, and she come to school and she would dress like it was Halloween, like the dark hair and the makeup. But she did it, and it lasted after Halloween, and it lasted until years after we graduated high school. But like at the time, I was like, well, she just really likes Halloween. She was painting her hair like it was blue, and she had weird stuff and like the piercings, and then. That was my first introduction to gothness, and I just couldn't comprehend it. I was like, maybe just like Halloween all the time.
I experimented in the goth phase for like 6 months of my life in high school. I remember painting my nails black and like having the long hair and wearing Marilyn Manson shirts, right? But there was this girl that I really fucking liked. She was like a hot goth too. She was There's very few that can pull it off, right? But like Jessica and I remember me and her would like we'd take the train and not tell our parents that we're going to Harvard Square because that's where all like the goths used to hang out. It's changed now. It's changed now. But like, the goths used to hang in the pit, and we would like drink there and like she'd befriend people, try to get weed. And then I lost interest after she blew a homeless guy.
While you were there?
Yeah, she walked away. We were with a group of people, and she was trying to get some weed, and she went with him, and I found out that happened, and I was like, yeah, I don't like you anymore. That's fucking gross.
You blew a homeless guy, I probably wouldn't talk to you. You got blown by a homeless girl. There's a rumor that on my first bachelor party that Maddie got blown by a homeless lady named Black, who I'm not being. This lady looked like the mayor of Chicago. Like she had like short black hair, like and like she like the picture. You've probably seen the picture before, but Maddie sends us a picture of him with this lady, and whatever is true or not, because the Monaco boys like to make up stories, but the story has stuck. It's been 7 years now.
So it has some legs.
It does have some legs, and it still reveals itself every once in a while. And the picture existing, it's circulated very regularly. But it's Maddie with someone who looks like the mayor of Chicago. And the legend has it that she needed a cigarette. So Maddie bought her a pack of cigarettes and a 40, and then she blew them in the hallway of the Monte Carlo hotel that we were staying at.
I mean, if he was really
it's very
drunk.
possible that could happen because we were very intoxicated that entire weekend. So, I mean, that could happen, but the picture keeps circulating and the story has legs like every few months. Like it just, hey, is Maddie, and we called her Black because that's what she introduced herself as apparently to Maddie. My name is Black. And I'm like, we never met her and we never seen her again. This was on the first night we were there. So, and he has a picture with her. The two of them are holding each other like lovingly, like a couple does in high school. So,
that's interesting.
So
those Monacos, they
and I was like, Maddie, you please don't tell me you did that. I guess it would be weird if he like it was the other way around, like he went down on her maybe, because that's a little odd.
Yeah.
That's like this. You shouldn't be going down on strange people, anyways. But like,
no, you shouldn't be.
I don't know if Danger Powers ever told you the story about the time the hookers were staying at the hotel that we worked at back in the day. At the bar.
No.
So there was these hookers. The bar I work at, it's attached to a hotel. It's like a mid-level hotel. So it's a little more expensive than the economy ones, but it's not like the Ritz-Carlton. So like you get some characters there, and it's in the lovely city of Revere as well. So it's a nice hotel. The rooms are really nice, but occasionally you get some characters, as well as any hotel. So this particular time there was like these 4 hookers staying there. And they would come down to the bar and stuff and hang out. And that's where they would meet their clients and kind of do the transactions and stuff. And, it's one of those things. If you work at a bar and a type like that, you kind of don't ruffle feathers because they're paying customers. They're not bothering anyone. It's just kind of like, let them be. They're trying to make a living. You feel bad for them. I know you're supposed to I don't know, but you can't prove anything. You can't just call the cops on and be like, I think she's a hooker. Like they got to get caught in the act, right?
Yeah, that's true.
So this girl kept coming down, and Danger Powers got her like some food, and brought it up to the room. And he brought it up there, and he goes, as you open the door, there was these Irish guys that were staying there who were on holiday from Ireland at the hotel, and they got the hooker, and the Irish guy was going down on the dirtiest looking hooker than he's ever seen in his life. So he opened the door and he's seen this, and he's like, oh my God. And the girl he got the food for pulled him into the bathroom and was like, oh yeah, she's working right now. And then these guys were like old Irishmen. They were like straight out of like any movie made about stealthy old timers kind of stuff. Like, 70-year-old. I'll talk of the Irish accent. Like,
I did have a woman once in Florida offer to suck my dick for a cigarette.
hmm.
And I remember I was actually with my girlfriend and her family at the time, and I was sick the day before, and they all went to the park, and I hung back, but I was going to meet up with them later, and I was trying to find out where they were, and I'm off the resort, I'm near City Walk, and I'm like texting, trying to find out where everybody is, and this woman's like, hey, and I'm dragging a drag for my cigarette, and I'm hearing, hey, and I'm just pretending like I'm not hearing this woman try to talk to me, this homeless, and I'm hearing, hey, and all of a sudden I look over, she's like, can I have one of those? I'll suck your dick for it. And I'm like, I'm just gonna give you one.
She looked like was she worth no.
God, no. God, like tooth kind of just like black and like just varicose veins all over her legs and just gross.
If they're offering something like that, the chances are it's no good. Yeah, it's
lady, you don't even do that.
I go, a cigarette. I go, what's a pack at me?
I was like, hey, you could just have one. I don't want that.
Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, I mean, it's a very interesting proposal.
Yeah.
But I mean, I bet there's someone that would do that. I'm sure, like, if she asked 10 people, she'd probably get maybe like 3 responses back. Someone would be like, oh, yeah, whatever. I don't know,
man. She was pretty brutal.
Yeah.
She was in her 60s, definitely in her 60s.
You're talking like this.
Yeah.
Looking tanned. She looked like she's been lit out. She looks like an old catcher's mitt. Her skin
pretty much.
Old leathery.
Yep, black. It was like tooth was black, and like eyes were just the giant bags, and like thinning hair.
Teeth are a big thing. I think in my heyday, I could really wrap my mind around any situation, but I think they have to have their teeth is a big selling point for me. Yeah, because I don't know what it is. I mean, they could have a broken nose, or they could have a huge nose, or it could be like something fucking freaky on them, or something like a mole or something like that.
Yeah,
the teeth, I can't get over, because I guess because that's what you're focusing on. Maybe that's what you're looking at.
But that's funny, because having no teeth, you think would be a better blowjob.
You think so? It probably is. I mean,
probably is.
Yeah, I guess
it's dentures.
Don't hate it till you tried it, I guess, right?
God, well, someday I feel like we're all going to experience that if we live long enough, right?
Yeah, we're gonna be 90 years old at some retirement home down in Florida, getting blown by like the lady whose husband just died.
Well, I was reading how sex bots are going to take over in the next like 50 years, and like people need to get married. You know how, Arty, I've said I never plan on getting married. Well, save the date on that announcement, because I'll marry a fucking sex bot. Fuck that. You tell me I could just shut her off whenever I don't want to hear from her.
To the Chinese hack it.
Yeah, you could be able to marry robots in 50 years.
That's stabbing you. I mean, whatever, I guess. I can't wait for that first wedding I go to it. The guy's marrying a bot.
That'd be hilarious.
It is nice. You could shut it off. Like that's a perk.
By 2050, relationships with robots and marriage in 2050.
Is it like when people get those robotic dogs? Remember those robotic dogs that are kind of big like a few years ago? Like they're very expensive, but they're like they do everything a dog does, but you don't have to take it out and feed it. And then people just forget to charge it.
I would let
dog just dies. Like just you have a robotic dog that doesn't do anything anymore. Like, would you do that with your like robotic wife? Like you just forget to charge her at night? Like how many times you forget to charge your phone? You wake up next morning like, oh shit, I got 10% battery. This thing's not gonna last me. Like you do that with your robot wife. It's like, oh shit, I gotta fucking plug her in for the night. Guess she's not cooking.
I can't imagine what that might look like in 2050 though. What these robots might look like. I would just be afraid like if it malfunctioned while it jerks me off and I'm ripping my dick off. That would.
I came across, I was looking at something and it was animation pornography, but it was like, I double checked. I looked twice. I thought it was very realistic how that they get the graphics these days, like video game quality graphics for porns.
Yes.
They look very realistic.
They do.
It's like anything else, but there's still a layer that's not quite there yet. But like at first glance or after a few drinks, you look at it. It was like some stupid website I was looking at, like, I don't know, like sports betting or something. Probably a conversation I had last night about sports betting.
Yeah. I just
Yeah.
googled I just googled animation porn and some weird shit just came up. And some
Mm.
of it's not even supposed to look real.
No,
I
some
just like
cartoon.
Roger Rabbit getting fucked. I'm just
Yeah.
seeing like a whole bunch of shit here. Jessica Rabbit. Oh yeah,
I was never big on the the animation porn's kind of it's a weird thing, I guess.
it is. Yeah.
I know
Yeah,
some
some
people
of
are
this
into
looks
that.
really real.
Some people are really into animation. Actually, my cousin Sakani's really big into animation. He has like a pretty good YouTube page where he just breaks down like anime. I don't know what his niche is. I'm not really that informed about. I know there's like different genres of animation and not the porn, but like the cartoons and like storylines and stuff like this. Like people really get into it.
Yeah.
And his page is pretty popular on YouTube.
Hmm.
I think it's just Sakani. I think that's what it is. I think I shared it a few times, but and the guy's monetized on his like videos he does. He's like
Interesting.
20 years old. He's a kid. He's gonna be 21 and in 6 months. And I told him he's right now a senior at University of South Carolina. I told him on his winter break he really should make an effort to come up to Massachusetts, and for as soon as he's turning 21, and we'll take him out. We'll get this kid messed up.
Let's do it.
Not that I enjoy more than taking a freshly 21-year-old kid out and really driving them into like the reality of like, holy shit, I'll be hungover for the next week. Because like I did that with this kid. Oh, you know, KCG. You know.
Oh yes.
When he turned 21, he's 30 now. God, that was like 9 years ago. I was bartending that night, and he sat at the bar, and I busted his balls a little bit about his ID. I go, you have to wait till midnight. You can't drink. And he's like, oh, really? I'm like, yeah. And he was leaving. I'm like, I'm just kidding. I'm like, what do you want? And he's like, oh, Captain Diet. I'm like, all right. So I was like 900% Captain and like a splash of Diet. The poor kid fell off his chair. He was fucking hammered because he never drank before in his life. He was like a solid, innocent young man. Now he's
did you tell him there was alcohol in that?
Oh yeah, he asked for it.
Okay.
He's like, I have a Captain Diet. I don't know why you just go first day drinking. You don't start off with a Miller Lite. You go straight to the hot shit. But hey, whatever, to each one own. But yeah, now he's a more sophisticated wine drinker. He'll come to the bar and have like our finest red wine and sit there and chit chat with us. Long time coming from the blackout drinks I used to make him. I had to do that to some customer the other day. Make her a blackout drink because she was bitching that the drink. She's like, these drinks us. She sucked down 3 drinks in probably like, I don't know, like 45 minutes, right? And she's like, I don't feel anything. I'm like, well, you will. I go, I hate to be a science teacher here, but like, do you realize it takes about 45 minutes the alcohol to react to your system? And I go, 1 drink you should react to enough. 3 drinks that you suck down in about an hour, it's probably going to cause you some issues. I go, how about I'll make a deal with you? I go, let's give it some time. Let's give it 25 minutes. At the end of 25 minutes, I'll come over to you and ask you if you really want another drink or not. So she's like, all right, whatever. I'm like, all right. So I come back 25 minutes later. It's been an hour and a half of this time. She's like, yeah, I don't need another drink. I go, is this your first time drinking? Fucking crazy. What's wrong with people?
I don't know, man.
So I don't think our guest is going to join us because I sent him a message EST and
well, we made it through the show, just fucking around.
There's a lot of shit going on.
There is a lot going
on. Jeremy's going to go to jail.
You know,
Taliban's the most powerful army in the world.
Freaking, this is funny. So apparently I'm reading now. So Kamala Harris was en route to Vietnam to donate 1 million COVID-19 vaccines. And then China basically said, fuck you. We're going to give them 2 million.
Good for them. Good for them. Speaking of
fuck you, America.
I got mine today.
You did? Is it a little sore? You still wearing the Band-Aid?
I don't even think I need the Band-Aid.
No, you don't. I didn't even get a Band-Aid.
The little Asian old lady, a little old Asian lady who gave me the shot was very nice, very sweet. Even though I could barely understand her because she has a very, very thick. She had an Asian Boston accent, which is really, really tough to understand. Oof. And then she's like, you waited a very long time to get this. I go, yeah. I was just waiting. Yeah.
So though, getting a little stiff, a little sore right now.
A little sore. Yeah, it's like it feels like anything else though. It feels like any shot you get. It got like you said, it got me like in the muscle area too. So it's kind of like, oh yeah, it's gonna be a little stiff, but I didn't feel sick or anything. I started getting like hypochondriac in my mind.
No, the second one, that's when you.
Well, but like you know how your mind can overwhelm you. Sometimes you start thinking you're sick. Yes. Like I left to go to the bank afterwards, and I'm driving. I'm like, am I having hot flashes? Or am I just like, or is it just because it's 90 degrees outside?
Yeah, exactly. It's fucking hot out. His balls out.
Probably the fact of the matter.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, it's on emergency mode anymore. So I did say when it did come out of emergency mode and it was fully approved, then I would consider it. And I am considering it for the fact. It's not because like now that it's like you could still carry it or you could still pass it on. Even if you're vaccinated, but like the chances of getting sick are very less if you are vaccinated. Because I gotta go see my grandmother in a few months, so I'm like, I always want to double check, make sure the vaccine's all good. You know what I mean?
For sure.
Yeah.
Very
I'm doing it like I made it clear. I'm doing it for the safety of others. I not for myself because I don't think I needed to. But if it helps me for someone else, I may give it to that I may not get it to. Then you know what? By all means, I've done my part. I just think the mask thing's bullshit though. But we're very discussed to discuss that. That should be on your own basis. And if a company wants to say, hey, you're not allowed in here without a mask, then that's a financial risk they have to take.
Exactly.
And that's the freedom of America, which will turn around and bite everyone in the ass because that's what everyone thinks.
That's true.
So, but with that said, that's about that. About that time.
It is.
All right, I'm gonna contact Jerry Garcia, see if we can reschedule maybe for another date, and hopefully we can get him on.
Let's do it.
What's next week? Next week we get we're good. Yeah, I'm not away on Wednesday, so
yeah.
Fucking A, I leave a week from Friday. Week from Friday to vacation. What?
Nice.
Times. What you plugging, sir? Anything good going on?
No, Rick, you know, check out the World Potato. It's always there. It's always going to be there at some point. Maybe for something for Halloween. I think that's going to be a nice little relaunch. I'm working on a few videos right now. I don't know if I like any of them, but I got like 3 that I'm kind of working on simultaneasely.
Nice.
So,
do you ever wonder, like, that's just me just being morbid, like when you die, how long your videos are going to stay circulating on there?
Ooh, that's a very good question. Yeah.
I guess it would be until YouTube just shuts down, right? Which, like, MySpace is shut down these days, but there's been videos on there. So like, there's dead people who had MySpaces that no longer have their stuff out there. So
yeah,
I guess as long as YouTube stays along, and like how many videos you've watched that are the people are dead in them, and you just don't even know it.
Yeah, and some of them you look at like how many years ago it was posted. It'll say like 15 years ago.
Yeah, this person might be dead.
That's a good question.
I do that when I watch like old movies, like on YouTube. Like there's this one channel I follow, and what they do is they take old 8mm film that's been like colorized from like the 60s and the 50s, and a lot of it's like New York City or Boston back in the day. All these major cities people took on their vacations and stuff. And you're looking at people and they're like, well, that guy is so dead right now. Like everyone in this video, there's not a soul alive in this video. Like you see this like people walking on the street and they're like, yeah, they're probably dead right now. And they don't even know they're on video. They don't even know they're on the internet. They don't know 1 million people have seen them when they were a kid and now they're dead. Isn't that fucking
that's fucked.
I always think that because we do the videos and our videos like sometimes like 3 months in advance. I have them premiered because we just keep a catalog, so it's every week.
Yeah.
I could die tomorrow, and you'd still see a new video of me for the next 3 months.
You live on.
It's kind of creepy. It's kind of creepy when people like they have terminal cancer and they leave videos for their kids, like when they turn 21.
That's sad, man.
It is.
It is kind of sweet though. You know,
sweet. It's also kind of fucked.
It is.
My dad comes to visit me once a year on my birthday for your video.
I was reading this thing about this guy who passed away of cancer, and he left like I guess he died when his son was like 20 and a half, and he left like his son, obviously the will, but like outside he left his son like $10 so he could buy his first beer.
Oh yeah, I see something like that. Yeah.
It's kind of neat.
That's how we end the show on a very sad note, people dying and death like that. So here's the thing: if either of us die, this video will still be on the internet, so you can watch this and you'd be like, "Oh, I remember those guys right before they died. They were talking about dying when people being dead." So
that'd be creepy.
So to get me on the whirlwind, get me on the whirlwind potato. No, get me on the Wicked Explorers. And if you're in the area and in the Everett area, I am DJing tomorrow night.
That's right, tomorrow.
Brewery in Everett, 7 to 10. It's retro game night, so they're busting out some old video game shit systems and stuff. So come on in, drink some beer, play some video games, and let me audibly fuck you in the ear with my music. So with that said, we'll see you guys later.
All right, buddy.
Bye.